In honor of Black Breastfeeding Week, I wanted to remind a starving mama to eat. This morning was the most raggedy morning yet. I had been nursing all night and I woke up so hungry. I was hungry, I was dehydrated, I needed to eat. The problem was, it was the same time that baby needed to eat and my 4-year-old was starving. So I literally was doing 4 things at once. I was making my smoothie, I was making me and my 4-year-old's breakfast, I was warming up the baby's bottle, then I had to stop everything, feed the baby, then I had to continue with me and my 4-year-old's breakfast, feed him first.
It's eggs and toast, okay? Eggs and toast.
This is me telling him to get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Back to my breakfast, finishing my smoothie, getting my toast, putting my jelly on my toast, putting my scrambled eggs back in the microwave. When I tell y'all I was so hungry, I could not wait to finish this sandwich and take this bite. Mamas, make sure you are eating and hydrating yourself first. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Journey with Jazz, where we are capturing the everyday journey of faith through marriage, motherhood, and ministry. My name is Jasmine Mullen Allen, and let's jump into it. No wonder I'm exhausted. This video is for my mamas, my first time mamas, my second time mamas, third time mamas, those of us with newborns, infants, toddlers, and those of us just who have kids under 5, right? All of the transitions, the challenges, the frustrations, the things that we have to put on pause, the burdens that we carry, the responsibilities, the roles. We need a space to know that there are other women who are struggling like we are, who are trying to find a balance, trying to find their footing. And so I want to create that space with this platform. Today, we are talking about all the things that we are dealing with postpartum. And no wonder we are tired. So we're going to group this video into 2 topics today. The first is just dealing with burnout and exhaustion. Just being tired from day to day to day, dealing with lack of sleep, restlessness, and still having to show up, care for baby, and care for so many others. And by the way, I'm sure y'all can tell I am pumping right now. If she wakes up, I'll probably put her on the boob, but real quick segue, I'm trying to pump and feed more consistently because my boobs will get engorged in no time. Well, I'll go too long without pumping or too long without feeding. And mind you, we can feed her through a bottle. The point is I'm not dispersing the milk enough for my boobs. And so they'll get really engorged and backed up. And ladies, y'all know we don't want that, right? I think it's mastitis and just plenty other health issues you can have when you're not dispensing of the milk enough. So last night I started this tight 2-hour schedule where I was either pumping or I had her on the boob, put her on one boob, then put her on the other boob. Like all this milk got to get out. Notice a difference already. It's not as painful. I don't feel as heavy. My boobs aren't as engorged, and you know, that's very painful. So it's been working so far. So we'll see if I continue it today, you know, if that continues to help as far as dealing with the pain of feeling engorged. I know we don't have a clue just how much we are dealing with postpartum. I don't think we actually think about it because it's so normal. People have babies every day. Motherhood is so common, but to actually sit and list out all the things mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, professionally that we deal with is overwhelming. So just to name a few, let's talk about it, right? The first thing I want us all to know, to acknowledge, and to accept is that whatever it is that we're feeling or not feeling, it is normal. Let's just affirm for a moment that whatever it is we're feeling, whatever it is we're dealing with, what we cannot give or what we can give is completely normal. Facing that, accepting that, and extending that grace to ourselves, that lifts a burden from off this list. Like, because that's one of the challenges that we have is this is not normal. I'm alone. Why do I feel like this? Why don't I feel like myself, right? First, we're recovering from the actual birth and delivery. We all know that can come in many different shapes, sizes, and forms, all the way from epidurals, from natural births to C-sections, to having a baby after a miscarriage or a loss, right? Or just having birth complications. Like, it looks different for all of us, but let's just keep in mind, we are all recovering some way, shape, or form from the birth, from the delivery. We're actually recovering. It's like somebody getting a surgery or somebody, dealing with some major health procedure. And the way that they have to recover, sometimes go to physical therapy and take medicine, we are as well. So that's number one. As soon as the baby's out, they want to stick the baby on your boob. And now you have this ginormous task of trying to keep this baby alive with breastfeeding. Breastfeeding has its own challenges. I want to do a segment just on breastfeeding because it can affect a woman's mental as well. Fellas, if you're listening, hear me. Breastfeeding and the challenges of breastfeeding can affect a woman's mental health, how she feels about herself, how she's able to supply her baby with food or the lack thereof, the exhaustion of breastfeeding, right? Like, you're literally draining all this liquid, but I'm draining all this liquid from my body 2 to 3 hours a day. So I'm tired. No wonder I'm exhausted. Every woman and every mom has different challenges with breastfeeding. Then there's this schedule of life and the fact that there is no schedule of life. You're just on baby's time. You're on your booby's time. And you have to uproot and adjust your entire life for this new thing. Many of us have different situations. Some people don't work, for the first couple of months. For some, it's the first couple of weeks. And then the financial loss that comes with that, there is going to be some type of financial loss. Some of us did better with saving for this time and preparing for this time. Some of us did not, right? So there's also just the changes in our work schedule, not working at all, or having to go to work too soon, or not going back to work and suffering the financial loss of not going back to work. Like, again, everybody has a different situation. Everybody has a different challenge. That's why we don't compare our journey to somebody else's unless, it's in a way of encouraging ourselves or being inspired or getting up and trying again the next day. But other than that, we don't want to compare in a way that's going to make us feel bad because we really don't know what somebody else is carrying and how it's affecting their life. Dealing with, if you're a second-time mom, dealing with your other child, right? Whether they're small, young, older, whatever, there is a dynamic there. It does not matter. I don't care if they're 15 years old or if they're 2 years old. There's a dynamic, there's a shift, there's an adjustment that you have to make. Our changes in our body image and body insecurities, that could be amplified postpartum. Changes in our hormones, being moody and irritable, or not having the desire to have sex or be turned on, right? That's another one. We deal with the bleeding and the cramping postpartum. Hygiene is another one. You still want to stay fresh and clean and get your pH balance all together. Making sure that you have support. Your partner and whatever your baby dad situation is, baby dad, significant other, husband, whatever, y'all broke up, co-parenting, whatever the situation is, there is still a level of something that you have to deal with. You have all the demands from the baby and what the baby needs and having to deal with all these things yourself while still showing up as mom. I remember with my first child, it was this weird feeling of him no longer being with me. Like, he's with me, but he wasn't with me anymore. So sometimes that detachment is a mental battle that we face. And then we have all the household. Oh my God. I'm getting tired. No wonder I'm exhausted. I'm getting tired just listening this stuff out. Who's gonna clean now? Who's gonna do laundry? Who's gonna do this? I think for me, being as though I have this time away from work, I can still take care of the house, like when she's sleeping or, when she's okay, she's just content. I can still clean up around the house, but I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. So thank God for my husband. You still have life going on, right? Whatever it is your life stressors are, or whatever is bothering you, whatever you're going through. Maybe you suffer some type of loss. Maybe there is animosity or hostility within your home or within your family. And so you still are just dealing with life stuff on top of all this other stuff. We're supplying their food to survive. So whether that means exclusively breastfeeding, whether that means you got to supplement with formula, or do exclusive formula, like whatever variation that means for you, that is a responsibility that moms have. But of course, both parents have that. But let's be honest, if you're breastfeeding, you're supplying the milk. And so that is a huge responsibility. And if you feel as though you don't have enough supply or you're not able to show up fully in that way, it can weigh on you, feeling like, dang, I can't even keep my child alive without supplementing or without having to do something. Our responsibility is to take care of this child, to make sure this child is eating. That's it. That's the post. Do not, ladies, do not get caught up in your heads about breastfeeding, okay? Yes, it's better for the baby. It helps babies not be sick as much and just be healthier. We get it. We know that thousands of women, thousands of mothers do formula and supplement and the kids turned out fine. Like, we know that as well. With my first child, I only breastfed the first 2 months and then I was done. I think because I was in law school and I had to get back. I don't know. But the point is, he's fine. He did not get sick a lot. Everybody is different. And so I just want to just release somebody from the pressure they've been putting on themselves about breastfeeding and not being able to do what you want to do or what you think your body should be able to do. Feed the baby. However you must feed the baby. Baby's gonna be fine. And ladies, please, 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 in the comments, put down your stuff. I don't have enough paper to write down all the different things that we're navigating and dealing with postpartum. So please, in the comments, just write down some other things that you've dealt with or other mamas that you know have dealt with. So that way people can feel heard and understood and connected. That's the goal. Heard, understood, and connected. You're not alone. We hear you. We're here for you, right? We're in this together. And so the sleeplessness, it's different for everybody, but at the end of the day, these babies are up every 2 to 3 hours hungry. And what I've learned is even if she is sleeping past that point, I need to wake her up and feed her. One, I'm telling my boobs how much milk to produce. So I need to feed her. 2, she needs to gain weight. The first 2 years, they need to be continually gaining weight. And so you ain't gonna get sleep. It just is what it is. So dealing with the sleeplessness can affect our mental and not being in our right minds. Then we have to still show up and navigate all these things. No wonder I'm exhausted. That's why I wanted to name this video that, because no wonder I don't feel like being productive. I don't feel like checking my email. I don't feel like doing boss businesswoman stuff, because everything I have and some is being committed to this process. Another thing, right? So number 1 was realizing this is normal. And then we listed out a bunch of things that we're all navigating. Maybe you have more, maybe you're not dealing with all of it, right? But regardless, we're affirming to ourselves this season that we're in, how we're feeling, how we show up or cannot show up is normal. Number 2, our bodies were designed to fully commit to this. Our bodies were designed for this. By that, I just mean when God created us, when he created woman, right? When he created Eve, and even after the fall, and he said that childbirth was going to be excruciating, painful, all of that. And he told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and to multiply, right? Like, I could just imagine his intentions is that mamas, this is what we do, right? And so our bodies, our minds, all the things about how he created us was for this. What do I mean by that? We live in 21st century America where we think we're supposed to do all this other stuff. We think we're still supposed to get up, go to work. We think we're supposed to still be doing all this, running all these organizations and moving here, moving there, and having all these other things on our plate while we are committed to this postpartum motherhood. We've done that. Society has done that, right? We're the strong woman. We want to be feminine, right? And bosses out here and independent women. And so because of that, we have all these things that we have put on our plates. And I want to be sensitive and also acknowledge that we haven't done it completely. Society has done it. The men who may not have shown up for us the way that they should have, and left our mamas and our grandmamas. They've done it because they had to step up in those other areas. Slavery has done it. Like, it's all these different factors. But the point of the matter is, our bodies were designed to be full 110% to just this. Breastfeeding this baby, loving this baby, taking care of this baby, keeping this baby alive. And then there's all these other roles and responsibilities that whatever your life situation is on top of that. And I just want to say that because no wonder we're exhausted. We weren't necessarily designed to take on all that stuff. We can do it. Lord knows, I was in law school with my first child. We can do it. We level up and we get it done. We take whatever rocks have been thrown at us and we make the best out of it, right? We take the lemons and make lemonade. Like, it's fine. Like, we know we can do it. It's not a matter of can we do it. It's a matter of realizing our bodies weren't necessarily designed to do it. And with that, what do we take from that, right? I think the biggest thing to take from it is to extend grace to ourselves. We need to relieve ourselves from the pressure that we have to be superwoman. And also, if we don't have to show up in 1,000,001 capacities right now, then we don't. Sometimes we have to. All right, do what you got to do. But if we don't have to, then we don't, because our body is telling us, you need to produce this milk and feed this baby. You need to change this baby. You need to rest when this baby is rested so that when the baby's up, you're 110% for baby. Like, that's what's naturally supposed to happen. Another thing is not feeling guilty or having shame about where we cannot show up. We might not go to the networking event. We might not, go to the business meetings. We might not be able to show up here or show up there. And the truth is, we weren't designed to be able to. It's okay to press pause in other areas of our lives while we commit to this. Number 3, now in the same token of realizing that our bodies were naturally designed to do this, we also realize we still do have to show up. I want to make sure I also emphasize that. Yes, we may not have been naturally designed to show up in all those other areas, but the reality is we still got to show up. And so no wonder I'm exhausted. We still have to go back to work sometimes. We still have to take care of this, handle other responsibilities. We still have other roles. We still have other kids, right? It just is what it is. We still have other commitments. And so it's recognizing, on one hand, my body was designed to do just this. However, I got to step up and do all these other things, but I'm going to show grace to myself because I know how much I'm carrying. I'm going to extend grace to myself where I cannot show up, or if I forget to pay a bill, or if I forget to do this, or if I can't show up the way that I used to. It's okay, right? I got to get up and I got to get up and make moves happen, but it's okay for what I cannot do. Okay? So no wonder I'm exhausted. I still got to pay bills. I still have a career. I still have school. I still got to go to church, right? But I also acknowledge that those things are still secondary to this, because this is the season that God has designed my body to just do this. The second part of this video, I wanted to also think about, right, and just process why we don't have the energy to be productive again, right? A little bit about me. I have a law firm that I basically press pause on to go work full time for another company. Why? Because I wanted maternal benefits. I wanted to be able to take off work and have short-term disability, long-term if I needed it, and just have work-related, employer-related benefits for this season. So it was a sacrifice that I made, thinking long-term, how to best, one, support my family, and, to just be able to long-term do the things that I really want to do without suffering financially. So that's just a little bit of my season. I'm going to have to transition back to my full-time job. In addition to that, just having to do day-to-day stuff, right? Check the mail, pay some bills, call the doctor back, set up the appointments, sign my other child up for childcare. Y'all know how it is, like the administrative parts of our lives, both professionally and personally. I have zero motivation to do any of that. Like, I could literally be laying in bed with her on a booby, calling the doctor's office, trying to get things set up, right? Or talking to my employer about when I plan to return to work, and just like, I really don't feel like doing this, but it has to get done. So just recognize that it's normal to just not feel like being productive, not feeling like getting stuff done and handling business. Yes, we still have to do it. We do. Because then we'll cause some other problems in life if we don't handle it. But it's normal to not feel like it. And again, you're going to hear me say this 1,000,001 times. Extend grace to ourselves for the energy we do not have. Okay? For just wanting to sleep all day, but having to push ourselves to make the phone call, to get the thing done, to mail the thing in, to call the person, whatever it is we got to do, handle the business. Also asking for help. Oh my goodness, my husband has been tremendous, y'all. Like, I am so grateful for how he has stepped up in this season and handling business, either things that I may have used to do or things that he's pretty much have always done and just doing it well. So I don't have to worry about it. Who is your support, who you can call on and lean on? And if you say, I don't have anybody, reach out, comment, get in touch with me. Let's find you somebody. Let's find you maybe some help. Maybe it's some organizations or nonprofits that support single mothers who need additional assistance. Don't just sit in pity about not having support. Don't just sit and say, woe is me, my life's horrible. Nah, let's find support. There are organizations and state-funded programs for people who are struggling, for people who are single mamas. Your thing is having too much pride to reach out and ask for help. You got to do what you got to do. We have all seen our worst days. Like, trust me. Trust me. Where we had to do some stuff that we didn't want to do or reach out to people we didn't want to because we needed help. So don't be afraid to ask for help and build your support, because literally, I know y'all see like the Facebook posts of single mamas who commit suicide because of the lack of support. It'll do it. I mean, we just talked about all the things that we deal with mentally, physically, emotionally, and then to do it by yourself, it will drive you crazy. So find your support, lean on them, right? Let's create community here so you know that you're not alone. It's okay if you don't feel productive, if you don't feel like your natural self, the strong businesswoman that I know that I am, the strong CEO that shows up and gets it done. I don't feel like that right now. It's not. It's still in me, but my hormones, my energy levels, I'm draining myself every day. Like, all these other factors, ladies, let's extend grace and realize like we really got a lot going on. So for 4, I would say take care of yourself first, right? Get up, get a shower, do your skincare routine. I need to get my eyebrows waxed. Money is tight. Let's be real, it's tight. So just little things to keep things low budget, to take care of ourselves so that we're still caring for ourselves, right? And then we can care for baby and show up in those other areas and feel a little bit more like ourselves. If we let ourselves go and say, forget it, I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like taking care of myself, I don't want to get my hair done, my nails, and we completely let ourselves go, it's going to affect us more mentally because we're not feeling it already, and now we don't look it either, and we're not taking care of ourselves. So it's like, you really don't feel productive. Your energy is really low. So yes, whatever it looks like for you, get the bubble bath. I'm getting a massage today. I'm gonna go get my massage. I'm gonna try to run whatever errands I need to run while I'm outside, okay? And then I'm gonna come home and I'm right back in it. But I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about next week. I'm not even thinking about 2 weeks from now when I have to go back to work. I'm thinking about it to the level of being prepared. Let's not get too reckless. So yes, we want to continue to prepare for our next and plan things, yes. But what we're not going to do is stress and worry about something that we have no control over. That's the difference. Yes, I'm thinking about in 2 weeks when I go back to work, I'm thinking about childcare and how my life is going to adjust, but I'm not going to stress about it. Why? My life is in God's hands. My life is in God's hands. He's taking care of me. He's taking care of my family. He has supplied all of our needs. We have not gone without. There's not a day that we have not eaten. There is not a day that we have not had clothes on our backs, food on the table, a shelter over our head. Like, we're always taken care of. Is money tight sometimes? Definitely. Do we have to move money around and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Definitely. But the truth of the matter is he continues to supply all of our needs. So why would I sit here and worry about what I'm going to eat, what we're going to wear, like scripture says, right? If he feeds the birds outside, if the animals eat, and he keeps this world running, he can take care of me and my family. Period. That's why I'm not stressed. That's why I'm not worried about how everything's going to fall into place. I'm just going to take it a day at a time. Think about what's most urgent first. What is the most urgent? Like, this needs to get done yesterday. Is it paying a bill? Is it sending something in, scheduling the doctor visit, whatever it is? Just take it, write it down, put a star by it because it's most urgent, and chip away at everything you need to do one day at a time. Make sure that you're asking others for grace and giving yourself grace. I've said a million times to extend grace to yourselves, but sometimes you have to also ask other people for grace. You might show up to the doctor's appointment late. Please just show me some grace. I'm adjusting to having a newborn baby. You might show up to work late. You might need some time to adjust to certain things. You might need some time with, your partner, how you show up sexually, and just meeting your partner's need. I just need some grace. Don't be afraid to ask for it. It's not an excuse. You're asking for the same exact thing from others that you're giving to yourself. So yes, ladies, when we're dealing with burnout and exhaustion, when we're trying to find the energy to be productive again, the 5 main things that I would say is 1, accept that this season and what you're going through and navigating is normal. 2, recognize our bodies were naturally designed to just focus on this baby at this time. 3, with that, understanding that we still have to show up and handle our business. 4, we are taking care of ourselves. Self-care is number 1 priority to be able to give to the baby and everyone else. And 5, take it a day at a time. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Journey with Jazz, where we are capturing the everyday journey of faith through marriage, motherhood, and ministry.
Mommy, great was a very good word.
That was a very good word?
Yeah, like special word.
It was a special word?
Yeah.
Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you.
It's about no.